Sure, it's the offseason, right? That's the time for predictions, and we are going to make them as the Pick Six podcast crew gives out our early playoff predictions. Oh, yeah, we're not scared. The draft's done. Free agency's done. For the most part, everyone you see on a roster will be on that roster. Maybe there'll be some changes leading up to the season, but we're going to dive in and make playoff predictions right now. We will hold you to them. You can hold us to them. We can take it. John Breach, we'll start with you. Break down what you're looking at when it comes to the AFC and NFC playoff picture.
All right. Well, let me start with the AFC. I think all of us have the Chiefs and the Ravens in the playoffs, so that is not news. But I have a couple surprises in there. I have the Broncos in the playoffs. I think they're going to sneak out of the AFC West, get that second place spot, and end up as a wild card. And my biggest surprise is I have the New England Patriots stealing the 7th seed. Look, when the Patriots schedule came out, I looked at it. I didn't think they really had a shot at getting to the postseason. But then I thought about it, and I said, I'm not betting against Bill Belichick. Look, the last time he didn't have Tom Brady for a full season, 2008, they went 11-5. When Tom Brady was suspended, they went 3-1. He has done just fine without Tom Brady. And you know what? He doesn't need to win 11 games. I think 9-7 is probably going to get in the AFC playoffs because we have that new 7th seed. The other part of this, if this happens, the Patriots will play the Ravens in the first round. And if they won that, they'd have to play the Chiefs. If Belichick won both of those games, he would just retire because he would be the greatest coach of all time, even though he's already the greatest coach of all time. And the NFC, I think we'll all have the Saints, the 49ers in the playoffs. I have 3 NFC West teams getting into the postseason. I think this division is deep. I think it's the best one in football. I have the 49ers, the Seahawks, and the Rams. And I know you're thinking, the Rams? Look at these percentage. It's under 50%. How are the Rams getting to the postseason? Well, guess what? There had been a 7th seed last year. The Rams would have been in the playoffs as the 7th seed. You look at what Sean McVay's done. Last year was a down year. They still went 9-7. Sean McVay's averaging 11 wins per year in his 3 seasons as Rams coach. I think they can get to 10 wins this year. I think that will get them in the playoffs. So that's who I like in the NFC.
Yeah, Breach, I actually like a lot of your picks. I think when you start to look at who I picked to make the playoffs, we have a ton of similarities, and I suspect Ryan and Brinson will have a lot of the same teams too. So in the AFC, I obviously have the Chiefs and the Ravens winning their divisions, and the Colts and Bills winning their divisions, which is the same as Breach. Where we differ, we actually have the Patriots as a wildcard team. Where we differ is I have the Browns making the playoffs as a wildcard team, and I have the Houston Texans. Now, I think obviously the Browns are going to be the team that causes the most controversy because they are the Cleveland Browns. They haven't made the playoffs since 2002. I thought they were going to make the playoffs a year ago. That did not happen. But I love what they've done this offseason. And obviously it starts with getting rid of Freddie Outhouse, as Ryan likes to call him. I think Kevin Stefanski, while being unproven as the head coach, I really think his offense is going to align with Baker Mayfield's skill set. And then you look at the players they added. Austin Hooper, who is, perennially going to go for 650 yards, 5 touchdowns per season. Jack Conklin, which is really going to improve that offensive line, which was their biggest problem a year ago. And I don't mean just in terms of pass protection. I think he's going to be great for that running game when you look at what he did with Derrick Henry in Tennessee. They're going to get, obviously, Myles Garrett back from suspension. And I love what they did in the draft, getting Jedrick Wills to shore up the other side of that offensive line. And I really do think if you were to remove the name of this team and just line up their roster, I think you would say they have a playoff-worthy roster just in terms of overall talent. Now, moving over to the NFC, I have the Saints as the 1 seed. I think they're the best team in the conference. I have the Cowboys as the 2 coming out of the East. 49ers and Packers winning their divisions. I don't love the Packers offseason, but I don't think really anyone in the NFC North has done much better. And then I have the Bucs as a wildcard team with Tom Brady, the Seahawks as a wildcard team with Russell Wilson, and I do think the Eagles might be a really good team. They're just running into an unfortunate opponent in their division, the Cowboys. So I have the Eagles sneaking in as that last seed. Now let's talk about the Saints, though. I don't think anyone here is going to pick the Saints to miss the playoffs, but I think it's probably a little bit controversial to have them over the Buccaneers. I just think for as good of an offseason the Bucs have had, it's just too much ground to make up on the Saints. That's how much better the Saints are. There's a 6-win gap between the two teams, and the Buccaneers got better this offseason. These new pieces are going to have to come in, gel in a shortened offseason. And you look at what the Saints did. They have so much continuity, and they added so many good pieces in the short term. Malcolm Jenkins might not be a great value in the long term. He's going to add to that defense. Emmanuel Sanders maybe doesn't have 3 more years of great football left, but he's going to be great during this upcoming season opposite Michael Thomas. And if Drew Brees gets hurt, they got Jameis Winston to fill in after having Teddy Bridgewater go 5-0. So I love what the Saints did. They're the best team, not just that division for me, but the entire NFC.
Unlike Breach, I have zero confidence in Bill Belichick to get this team to the playoffs this year. So I don't have the Patriots making the playoffs. Imagine that. But I have the Bills going number 3 overall in that division. Both Sean and John had the Bills going 4th. Disrespectful to upstate New York. Western New York, the Bills are going to be number 3. They're going to win that division for the first time in forever because of Sean McDermott, because of Josh Allen, because of Stephon Diggs, because of all the playmakers they now have. That defense has been really, really good. And today, this week, next month, this year is their time. Tom Brady is gone. There are no more excuses. So their expectations are extremely high for the Bills, their organization, their fans. And if they don't win the division, it's going to be a disappointment. There's no other way around it. I know Brinson half jokes that maybe he'll take the Jets to win the division. That would be a huge upset and extremely disappointing to Sean McDermott and the Bills. So I think the Bills are best positioned and the best position in probably 25 years to have a chance to make a legit run, not only at the division, but maybe win a few playoff games as well. The other thing I'll mention there, the Titans are number 7. I don't think Sean had the Titans going to the playoffs. The team won the AFC Championship game last year. Sean, what are you doing? On the NFC side, let's look at the NFC side. No surprises there. Got the Saints going number 1 overall, then the Eagles, and then there at the bottom, the old Cowboys. Now, here's the thing. The Cowboys could finish as high as 2, and I think Breach had the Cowboys finishing that high in his poll there. I have him at 7 for a couple reasons. Number 1, what's the deal with Dak Prescott? Where's his mind going to be? Are they going to give him a long-term deal? Is he going to have to play on this franchise tag, and will he be angry about it? And number 2, how's Mike McCarthy, how's this new system going to come together with guys not being able to work out in person as we currently sit here because of the pandemic? So those are the 2 issues for me. The defense is also an issue at number 3. Will it be much improved, enough improved to battle the Eagles, who got a lot better, extremely fast on offense? So those are my concerns there. But I think if everything comes together for the Cowboys, Breach is right. They could be a top 2 or 3 team. If there's some concerns with Dak Prescott and the coaching staff and the offensive game plan coming together, they could eke into the playoffs. So I think that's what we're looking at right now on May 15th.
I like it, Wilson. I'll tell you what, the one thing you do trio, little like you get a trio of appetizers, a trio of dips. We got a trio of clown frauds here. You guys are jumping aboard the Bills bandwagon like it's some freebie waltz to the playoffs. Do you know who's on the other side? Do you know who is coaching the New England Patriots? Belichick, baby. Give me the Pats to win the division. Are you kidding me? Why do the Bills have 68% odds, Sportsline? The Patriots 47? Have you ever seen what Bill Belichick does? He's the greatest coach in the history of football. No, he's not going to retire if he beats the Chiefs and the Ravens in back-to-back games right before the Super Bowl. That would be dumb, Breach. But what he might do is just go out and win the division anyway with Jared friggin' Stidham because he's Bill Belichick. And I think that I just think that's, if I can get a contrarian pick of the Patriots to win the AFC East, I'm going to go with it. I'm going to bet on them at plus money to win the AFC East. I wanted to squeeze the Jets in here, but ultimately ended up going with the Broncos. And I think the Browns are kind of interesting too as a possible wild card team. Breach touched on the 7-team playoff field in each conference. It is really fascinating. And I think the Colts are a team to watch to try and steal that 1 seed as well. I wouldn't be shocked if they pulled it off, not because Phillip Rivers is amazing and awesome. He is, but because that division could be even weaker than the AFC West and the AFC North, both divisions of which appear to have gotten better this offseason, whereas maybe the AFC South takes a step back underneath the Colts. And if you get that 1 seed, it's going to be such a huge difference for the postseason rather than in years past. On the NFC side of things, I got Tom Brady. What are you guys scared? What do you guys? Nobody wants Tom Brady. Nobody wants a piece of touchdown Tom. I want it all by buying the Buccaneers stock. And I think the Tampa Bay Buccaneers might end up with the number 1 overall seed in the NFC. I have the 49ers checking in as the number 2 seed and the Cowboys in the number 3 spot. Give me the Minnesota Vikings to win the NFC North. And then, of course, look, I got the Cardinals. You guys know I'm all in on the Cardinals this year. I have a hard time giving them the division straight up over the 49ers. I still have, as you can see, San Francisco finishing, getting the second overall seed and winning the division, and the Arizona Cardinals sneaking in as a wild card with the Eagles coming in as well, and the Saints checking in as a wild card. Those percentages, it looks like myself and Mr. O will have to be having a chat about his percentages, because it's not lining up with the old Brinson economics that have the Brinson analytics that have the Buccaneers and the Cowboys and the Vikings storming the gate, and the Cardinals 20%. Get out of town. I think Arizona's be great, and then noticeably missing here the Seattle Seahawks, who I don't think are going to make the playoffs. I think it's going to be really tough in the NFC West, and I only foresee 2 teams getting in. Which 2 of those teams will advance to the Super Bowl? Glad you asked. And we will tell you coming up next with our Super Bowl predictions on the Pick 6 podcast show here on CBS Sports HQ.
Do you want a sports network that delivers everything that matters about the game? The highlights, the picks, the instant analysis, no yelling, no fake debates, no politics. Hit the subscribe button and never miss a moment.